Hello, Craig with LeadershipMentor.com. Today we're going to talk about building integrity as a leader. And I want to talk to you about these areas such as leading by example, being honest, keep your promises, admit mistakes, and foster a culture of trust. Each of these could probably be a video in themselves or a full course, but I just want to share with you my thoughts about how can we best build integrity as a new leader. Once we build integrity with our team, and it does take time, but once we build integrity with our team, what happens is our team starts to want to do things for us as the leader, and the performance and the engagement is going to greatly increase. And so hopefully you find this content valuable, and so let's jump right into the first topic. So the first one is going to be leading by example. So leaders who want to exhibit integrity set a high standard for their team members to follow. This means you must be a role model for your team and live up to the values that you expect of others. So when you demonstrate integrity, you show your team that you're committed to doing the right thing, even when it's difficult. There's going to be some challenging things that we have to do as leaders, but one of the things we have to do is lead by example. And so that looks like how do we engage with other team members? How do you talk to people within the organization? How do you talk to customers? How do you handle situations where somebody makes a mistake? Do you allow them to learn and grow from that mistake? And we'll talk more about that in a minute. All of these things are going to be leading by example. So just keep that in mind as we go through this presentation and as you go about your day. That it's really important that you do lead by example in all aspects, everything from when you arrive at work, if you expect people to be on time or log on time if you're working remote. All of those things are going to be behaviors that you can't just say that they apply to my team but not to me. So it's important they watch what you do as a leader. And so it's a great way for us to really lead by example and to get the behavior, the performance, really all areas in sync with what our expectations are. And they do that by watching us. Being honest. Honesty is the foundation of integrity. So as a leader, you must be truthful with your team, even when the truth is unpleasant. This means you must be transparent about your decisions and avoid withholding information that could impact your team. And we have to use discretion, obviously, when we say we want to be honest. We're not saying that you share everything. There's oftentimes things that as a leader, you're privy to some information that you can't necessarily share with your team. But it is important that you try to be as transparent as possible, and you're not withholding information that could be shared with their team that could be impactful, things that they may need to know or may want to know to feel like they're more connected with the organization or with the team goals. Keeping your promises. When you make promises to your team, you must keep them. This includes promises about promotions, salary increases, and other benefits. So when you fail to keep your promises, you damage your credibility and you erode the trust in your team. And obviously, we have to use discretion, obviously, when we make a promise. We have to make sure that we're doing that with certainty that we can follow through with it. A lot of times I would always suggest, and especially if you're new to leading a team, to use the phrase often, let me look into this and let me get back to you, rather than just making a promise that you'll take care of it and then come back and provide them with some additional information and let them know that you can't help them. Only make promises that you know you can keep, and it's important that we use discretion, obviously, with promotions, salary increases, benefits. Those are all things that are very important to people. So if you're going to make a promise in that area, you're going to have to make sure you follow through. You lose integrity very quickly, and you gain it very slowly. So we have to work at this over time to make sure that we're keeping our promises and all the other aspects of this presentation. So the next thing is to admit your mistakes. So no one's perfect, and leaders are no exception. When you make mistakes, you must own up to them and to take responsibility for the consequences. And this just means that you're going to be willing to apologize when you've done something wrong and take steps to rectify the situation. And ironically, this is really an opportunity when we make a mistake. Our team members are going to look for us to have that integrity to admit when we were wrong. You may think as a new leader that that's going to show vulnerability or weaknesses on your part, but in reality, I think when your team members see that you're big enough to kind of fess up to your mistakes, they're going to see that you're human and they're going to be able to relate to you in a much more intimate way. And I think that's going to help you to build integrity. So we don't want to intentionally make mistakes, obviously, but when we do make those mistakes, I think you should be very quick to come out and let them know, man, I really messed up on this one, and share that with them maybe your thought process or how you made that mistake. And I think that's going to help build your integrity, even though it was a mistake initially. Setting clear expectations. So when you set clear expectations for your team, you help them understand what's expected of them. So this includes things like setting goals, providing feedback, holding them accountable for their actions. So when your team knows what's expected of them, they're more likely to perform at their best. And we talk a lot about this in almost every video about setting clear expectations. We talk about coaching or providing feedback. All of those things are in line with the intention is to make sure that they understand what's expected of them. And that doesn't happen just by sending out an email. That happens through our coaching, through sitting down with our team members and talking about, this is what I observed and this is more of what I was hoping to see. Those are conversations that help align your expectations. And again, it's going to take multiple conversations over time, and it's really a continuous process that you're going to have to work on to make sure that those expectations are clear. Foster a culture of trust. So integrity is not just about what we do, it's also about the culture that you create within your organization. So when you foster a culture of trust, you create an environment where your team members feel safe to speak their minds, take risks, and learn from their mistakes. This means you must encourage open communication, respect diversity, and provide opportunities for growth and development. Creating a culture of trust really encompasses a lot of what we've already talked about, but the biggest area, biggest opportunity, I think, is that your team members need to feel like you are going to encourage them even when they make a mistake. Making a mistake is an opportunity for you to coach and also to provide them with better guidance on how to handle that in the future. Our best learning experiences come from a lot of the mistakes that we make. But if you have a culture where making a mistake could be detrimental to your career, and obviously there are certain boundaries within mistakes that we can and can't make, but for the most part, for team members, when they make a mistake, they need to feel like it's going to be a learning opportunity and not something that is going to set them way back in their career. So hopefully that makes sense. But encouragement and open communication is going to be really important to foster an overall culture of trust. So building integrity, just in conclusion, creating integrity as a leader is critical to your success by leading by example, being honest, admitting your mistakes, setting clear expectations, and also fostering a culture of trust. You can build a reputation as a leader that is respectful, trusted, and admired by your team. Remember, integrity is not just a trait that you possess, it's actually a practice that you embrace every day. So all of these things need to be on your radar, need to be something that you're aware of and something that you're going to practice and demonstrate on a daily basis. And before we go, I want to encourage you to go over and join our social learning community. We just launched this. I want to encourage you to join. It's free. I think you'll find that there's some good information there. We have some videos, we have some articles, some book reviews. Right now, there's some courses in there that are free. We're going to be building a lot more out of this community, and we'd love to have you be part of this community and join us where you can share your experiences, you can ask questions, you can engage in a social way with peers. So I hope you found this video helpful. Let me know comments below, and I hope you have a great day.